Welcome everyone to this discussion. I'm gonna say it one more time. I don't know if it's already streaming yet, but anyways, welcome everyone. This is a live discussion. Of course, it will be on the website, on the YouTube to watch later on. There's not a specific outline this time, so there isn't gonna be this is basically we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct that's supposedly coming in January. We're gonna have our predictions for that. We're gonna give our 2018 predictions and just kind of talk about all the games we think we're gonna see. We think what's gonna happen, what's gonna be announced. So there's a lot to talk about because we have a lot of expectations and hopes and dreams for, 2018. I mean, the year's over. We've had it's been an amazing year, and there's a lot to talk about. Anyways, as usual, I am joined with Brandon from Whataboutnintendo. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Yeah, he's
sick. On
sick.
The podcast again.
He's sick,
as always.
but he's still on the podcast.
Yeah,
he's a trooper.
a little. I'm a little sick, but it's all good. I'm hanging in there.
Good. So, what should we talk about first? I guess. There's so much we can talk about. I'm trying to decide what we should talk about first. I think. Well, how about let's talk about the January Direct itself? Like, when is it gonna happen? Is it even in January?
Yeah,
is it even a Direct? Right. So I think it is. I think it is a Direct, and I think. From Nintendo. It's a Nintendo Direct, right? I think it's going to be early January. Like, we're not going to hear about it until probably after New Year's, but it's going to come within that first week, I think. Like, that first week, there's probably going to be a Direct. And the Monday after the 1st, so probably the 7th or the 8th, we will have a discussion about it. Yeah. So, it's going to be...
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be in January. I'm thinking what was the other one was on the 12th. So this one could be in the second week of January, because, last year it was. But it depends. It's hard to say exactly what date it will be. Probably a Friday, if I had to guess.
Maybe Friday, yeah, maybe. Retro Potato's trying to hang here, apparently, but his N explicitive, Desmond, is playing Doki Doki. So, yeah.
Nice.
I mean, nice. Doki Doki's good, bro, but we got some discussions to be had here. We got some discussions to be had. So
yeah, I think it will be also in a direct format. I don't think they'll do the presentation again.
No,
I think that was mostly because they wanted to show off like the hardware and stuff. I think this one's, of course, it's going to be mostly game focused. I don't expect them to announce any kind of hardware. I mean, they could, but I don't expect that at all. So I think it's definitely going to be in that direct format that they've been going with. Probably in that kind of same format they've been having recently where they kind of list everything out and they show you. They go down the list for everything. Right. That seems to be working out for them pretty well, so I think that's what they'll do. Yeah, no,
we're in total agreement here with that. Definitely, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a Direct and probably early January. Even though we haven't heard anything about it, we're not going to hear about it until a few days, like 2 or 3 days at most before it happens. 3 days would be the max, but it probably is going to be a day or two before it's even announced.
Do you think? I was kind of under the impression, I don't know if this is... I feel like maybe this is a bigger event. Like, obviously they're not announcing it as far back as last year because that was, the announcement of the Nintendo Switch. Right. Was a bigger deal. But I do think this is kind of a bigger event than most of their Nintendo Directs, so I think there's a possibility we could hear about it like a week or two before hand.
I understand your logic in saying that, and you may be right. But I just never see the Directs happen before. Like, even when... I'm trying to think, like, when it has been a January Direct, like, what is the amount of time beforehand? Like, I don't know. I just, the way I see it is, like, why would you announce it? Like, that period between Christmas and New Year's? Well, actually, what's an interesting idea is if they didn't even do it in January, they did it in December, between the period of Christmas and New Year's Eve, because there's so many people that are off. People are available during that time, right? So potentially it could happen there, but there's also something else.
It's a pretty good pre-order season as well. You can get some pre-orders in there because people have all the you know, sometimes they'll get like different, you know, money for Christmas or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
They'll get like a gift card for GameStop or something. So they're waiting to spend that on like pre-orders or new games or whatever.
Yeah.
So that could be a good time.
I think so, but here's the thing. The people that work at Nintendo are humans. They're people. They also go out on holidays. So they're going to be on holiday as well. I don't think that they're going to do anything during this time. Even though technically
I don't think so.
It is a good time to do it, right? It's because people are available. Yeah, the people have spending money, you know. But because they're on holiday, because everyone needs a break, I don't expect the staff, right, to be prepared to do that.
And they always prepare those, you know, they probably prepare those, like, you know, a week or two ahead of when they show them.
Right.
Because obviously when they stream them, it's just a video presentation.
Yes, theoretically what they could do is have it pre-prepared already. They're not actually working, just they just stream it.
Yeah. But the problem with that is a week before then is Christmas. So that's still the holiday. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to be probably in, like, the second week of January, if I had to guess.
Yeah. I think, alright, we're good. Okay, we're good. So, yeah, I think it's probably most likely early, the first week of January, we'll hear something. We'll hear something. And hopefully, when we hear something, we get the direct release soon after, right? And that's what I expect. Like, if we're in the second week of January, we've gotten actually, when you think about it, there's no way we're going to go into the second week of January without getting a direct, because we don't know anything about what Nintendo's plans are. We have no idea what's coming after December. Like, we know Kirby and Yoshi are probably going to be early, but they don't even have a date yet from what I know. So, like,
they don't.
There has to be something. Even if it's not a major direct.
Yoshi doesn't even have a name.
Right?
Yoshi doesn't even have a name. Kirby does.
Doesn't even have a name.
Yoshi does not,
So a direct is totally happening. Some people may argue that it won't be major, but every year Nintendo holds a major event at the beginning of the year. There was one time it was in December, and that was during the Wii U era when they literally had no games for Christmas. So what did they do? They showed off a direct in December to at least sort of, you know, excite fans a little bit, keep them a little engaged, you know, give them something to hope for, work on. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a direct. We're in agreement with that. So then, let's talk about what we may see at the direct, right? There's a number of things that I think will be shown. So, here's what I think, okay? Given that Nintendo, since they changed around division, since Iwata changed around the way things work and, you know, within the Nintendo, their framework, and pretty much every game that they've announced comes out within a year of that announcement, right? So what does that mean exactly? Assuming that holds true, right? That would mean that Metroid Prime, Pokemon, and Bayonetta are all in line to come out next year. Now, is it gonna happen? I don't know. They may not hold true to that philosophy. It is possible, right? You can make the argument that Metroid Prime 4 wasn't actually announced at E3 because it was coming within a year or so, but actually because they didn't want people to completely hate on Metroid Samus Returns.
Exactly,
the same way Federation Force is hated on.
That's something I've been hearing a lot of.
But here's the thing, though. It was announced at E3. It wasn't even announced, you know, it's not like we're getting the announcement this January. We got the announcement months ago already. So, you know, it's not even just it's more than a year, right? So if Metroid Prime 4 comes out holiday, like November, you know, 2018, that's more than a year from when it was announced, right? So that's kind of going beyond that. And, I mean, major games have been announced. Mario Odyssey was shown off to us, announced fully this January, right? Of course, we did see a teaser footage of it and when the Nintendo Switch trailer came out, like, which was like October or November.
Yeah, I believe it was October, late October.
But regardless, I think we can expect that game, you know, maybe we'll see something about Metroid Prime 4 next year. Maybe we won't get the game in 2018. But we're going to see something about it at least. I think that's fair to say. So here's my prediction. Prediction number one of many predictions, right?
Yep.
I think, okay, it's kind of like a semi-prediction. 50% chance we'll see Metroid Prime 4 in the Direct. And if we do, it is coming out this year. If we do not see Metroid Prime 4 at the Direct, it is not coming out this year. That simple. Basically, yeah, any major game that is not shown off in the Direct, I don't think, well, not maybe Pokemon, but in terms of Metroid Prime 4, if it's not shown off the Direct, it's not coming out this year, but we may see something about it at E3, but it won't be coming out. If it is at the Direct, though, it is coming out this year. There's no way they would show it off twice without any plans of having it coming out this year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think definitely if they don't show it off, that means it's not coming this year. Obviously, that's true. But I do not... I don't know if I agree that if they show it off that it means it has to come out this year. I think if they show off some kind of small teaser footage, it could still be coming out 2019. But it depends on how much they show. So if they like start blowing the game out of the water or something, then obviously it's probably coming 2018.
Say it again?
I said if they start blowing it out of the water or something like that, start sharing a bunch of information, then yeah, it's probably coming 2018. But I think they could still show off some small teaser footage, or something very small, and have it still come out 2019. So I think it depends on how much information we get, and that will kind of determine when it's coming out or when we think it's coming out. That's just my opinion. I think they can show a little bit of it and still have it come out 2019. But if they start showing like a bunch of stuff, it's probably coming out next year.
Okay. I mean, I hear you. Maybe.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Obviously.
Yeah. I'm going to go with what I said, though. If we see it at the Direct, in any capacity, it's coming out this year. Right? Because maybe what you're saying is true and they only show like a teaser, right? But maybe their plan is to have a full blowout come E3, and then have it come out holiday 2018.
That could definitely be true. They could show a teaser and, as you said, show it off at E3. I'm not saying that's not possible. I'm just saying if they do show just a teaser, it's still possible they could put it in 2019.
Right. So here's the thing, right? I saw a video from Arlo about his 2018 predictions, okay? And you know what his predictions... he did not predict 3 games that were announced this year, right? Keeping in mind of what I told you, that basically Nintendo, every game they've announced has come out within a year for the last couple of years already, right? Since they've done all their changes. If keeping that in mind, Arlo, well, I don't know if he kept that in mind, right? But Arlo predicted that Pokemon, Metroid, and Bayonetta will not be coming out next year. I find that really hard to believe that all 3 of them, all of which were announced this year, that not even one of them will come out next year? Come on. There's no way that I don't buy that. Like, that
I think...
If you're thinking in terms of the Wii U framework, that's what the thing. I think he's still on the Wii U frame of mind. Like, like the Wii U, well, we'll only get one game in 5 years.
Something it comes out like 3 years.
Right. So I don't think that's likely. I think, maybe one of those games doesn't come out, maybe 2 of them, maybe. But I find it hard to believe that all 3 of those games were announced this year, and there are people out there that refuse to believe that none of them can make it out in 2018. I don't buy that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't buy that either. I kind of understand Metroid because we didn't get anything from Metroid. All we got was a logo. But Bayonetta, I mean, we got like a whole little teaser clip for it, and
I mean,
for Pokemon, they've already said, Pokemon already said they wanted to get it out, within a year of when they announced it or so. So they're already planning to try to get it out 2018, at least from what was rumored and from what they've hinted at.
But to play devil's advocate to Pokemon, though, there were those rumors out there that after seeing the reception and for Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and such, that they really like the idea of sort of changing the framework for Pokemon, right? And if they do something like that, if they really have a grandiose departure from the Pokemon formula, that makes it really hard for me to believe that a Pokemon game of that scope could really be ready by 2018.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean,
assuming that rumor is even true.
Depends. Yeah, assuming that rumor is true and depending.
Hey son, go on. How you doing, man?
Yeah. Depending on when they made the decision, how far they're actually, taking this decision in this game. Because it could be that they're not making as big steps as, say, Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, and maybe they'll do that for, the next Pokemon game on the Switch. It's hard to say because, the rumors were, they were pretty vague. We don't know if they're even true at all.
Right, I mean, the Soul Calibur rumor's not true, about it being only on PlayStation and Switch. It hasn't even been announced for Switch, but it is coming to Xbox, so that rumor's wrong, right?
Yeah. And we don't know, when they made this decision. We don't know if it was, seeing Mario and Zelda behind closed doors, or if it was, after the games already came out. We don't know that.
Yeah, so the timeline of things could be misleading too. And keep in mind, when you get rumors, the information's always slightly altered. The way it's worded changes things around. Like, I mean, I'm sure people have been over this concept of, you get 10 people and they each whisper something in someone's ear, right? And by the time it gets to the end, it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be the same thing. So, I don't know. It's hard to say for sure. But given that Pokemon was announced, okay, I think there's a fair chance that it's coming out, especially when we have from what we're hearing from the New York Times about there being 40 million more Switches coming out next year, next fiscal year. So that's that's kind of crazy.
It's insane.
Exactly.
So I think the most likely one to come out 2018 is definitely Pokemon. In my opinion, it's Pokemon. Yeah. And then probably Bayonetta is my second most likely then.
Well, if they're using the Bayonetta 2 engine, right? Which is, I think it's like just an optimized engine of Bayonetta 1, and then they've just optimized it again for Switch, then I could see them pumping it out pretty quick.
Yeah. They did say it was going to be an Unreal Engine 4, which I don't believe Bayonetta 1 or 2 was in, so I think they're using a new engine now. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said they're using Unreal Engine 4 now, so it depends. They could be working on it, ever since Bayonetta 2 ended, though. You never know. So, and Bayonetta 2 came out several years ago, so there's definitely time for them to have been working on this game for a while. I mean, a lot of companies, as soon as they finish the game, they move on to the next one. We see that with Zelda and Mario all the time. So,
yeah.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, just to inject a little bit of interesting news here, I heard that Aonuma actually said they're already working on the next Zelda game now.
Yes, they are. The Zelda speculation begins. No longer Zelda U. We have a new Zelda to talk about and spread rumors of. Zelda Switch. Or let's just call it Zelda S. We're calling it Zelda Switch. So,
Zelda S?
Yeah, Zelda S. Or Zelda's ass. Zelda Switch. It begins. Of course, I don't think we're going to see anything about Zelda. We may get an interview.
No,
right? Maybe an interview that talks about Zelda, right? But, like, super vague stuff. Like, kind of like the interview... That's it. We won't see anything until 2019 about Zelda.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't expect, unless we see some kind of Zelda remake, but I'm not really expecting that much either.
I think Zelda needs a break.
Yeah, probably. I think 2018 is going to be a break for Zelda.
Right, because we're going to get Smash Brothers, Pikmin, Animal Crossing, Metroid, Bayonetta, and Pokemon.
Yeah. Maybe come out with a remake in...
And Yoshi and Kirby. And F-Zero and Star Fox. And...
yeah, there's a bunch.
Okay, not all of those will come out. Maybe more than half, though.
Yeah, but I think definitely 2018 will be a break for Zelda, but I think they might come back as early as 2019, maybe with a remake, or they did say they wanted to make a 2D Zelda for the Switch, so we could see Zelda return quicker than we usually do, just not in the same way as Breath of the Wild. Maybe see Breath of the Wild like 2020 or 2021 or something like that.
Yeah, it's also possible they'll use the Breath of the Wild engine and pull like a Majora's Mask. Right?
Yeah,
so we'll see that
soon.
Is
definitely possible.
But we're not getting any full open world Zelda in 2018. You're not going to see anything announced about it in 2018 either. So let's not even talk about it because it's not about 2018 at all. Even though Zelda Switch is really exciting. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more Pokemon then. I think if there's a game that is going to come out this year that won't be shown off in the Direct, I think it's Pokemon. Because Pokemon is owned by Nintendo, but not entirely by Nintendo. Pokemon Company, they have rights to it. Game Freak develops the game. They're a second-party developer. They're not actually owned by Nintendo. So, they do things a little differently. They do things independently of Nintendo a lot of the time. And so most Pokemon games are never even announced during Nintendo Directs. They're announced separately. So, that's going to be... there's a good chance that Pokemon won't be shown off in the Direct, even if it is coming this year. Yeah. So they may want to save that until a few months from now,
Yeah, it could be. But at the same time... I could also see them just showing a teaser and then having a special Pokemon Direct later in the year. I think that's definitely a possibility. In fact, that's kind of what I'm expecting at this point.
Right, because I mean, they said something at E3 which we didn't expect to hear, right? We didn't expect to hear that at E3, but they did. So maybe that'll be the case as well. Also, hey Josh, how you doing? We're gonna talk about Smash Brothers actually, so just stick to your chair. We will get into that in a few minutes for sure. I think it's definitely something we're gonna talk about. So. Yeah, so I agree with you. They may show a little bit of something, right? Because it is like this big Switch home console thing. You know, it's one of the reasons why they even mentioned it at E3. You know, so yeah, I definitely think there could be a teaser. Definitely. Yeah, I agree. And also, you know, let's talk about Bayonetta. Okay, one of the other 3 big games that was announced, right, that has a shot at coming out next year. Like you said, if it's running on Unreal, then they could bring that out pretty quickly, you know?
Yeah, the Unreal is super optimized for the Switch, so
yeah,
definitely one of the best engines to run.
We have no idea when they started it, though. We have no idea.
Yeah, we've no idea.
But that's also a game being developed by Platinum Games, and it's kind of like being co-published by Nintendo and Sega, you know? So that's another one of the things where, like, I don't think that game can follow the same philosophy as Nintendo games when they're announced, you know, and coming out about a year after, you know what I mean? Right? So I think it's separate from that philosophy. So it could be a little different for that one.
It definitely could.
Yeah. So then, you know, if that's the case, then maybe Bayonetta is a thing we won't see. But of course, we already got a teaser for it, so they might, if they're gonna have a January Direct, I could see it being mentioned again. Honestly, if we just got a teaser for it, the Game Awards, I think there's a good chance we'll see it again at the Direct. And I mean, and if it's at the Direct, then maybe it is coming out. You know?
I think there's definitely that big possibility because I mean, if you're gonna have this big January Direct, why show off a new game like Bayonetta 3? Why would you announce that at the Game Awards when you have, you know, the Direct upcoming where it's going to be, you know, focused all on you and you're going to, you know, have all the Nintendo fans' attentions instead of like at the Game Awards where, you know, a lot of Nintendo fans don't watch that because it's the Game Awards. We all know how that is.
Yo, Kimishima, what's up, Blackstar dude, Chris? You know, Pikmin. Yeah, that's something else we're gonna get to soon. So, what were you saying?
But yeah, I think if they were going to show off the Game Awards, I think they'll definitely show it off again, probably at this announcement.
Right, it just seems kind of weird, right?
Because why show it off at the Game Awards?
Well, one potentiality is that they have a lot to show off regardless, you know? But here's the thing. Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming out in February, so they may just highlight Bayonetta 1 and 2, you know?
It's true.
And maybe they'll have like an interview about Bayonetta 3. Like, I think they're definitely going to talk about Bayonetta 3, but I don't think we'll necessarily see gameplay for Bayonetta 3, especially if they want to highlight the Bayonetta 1 and 2 port. So we're probably going to get another trailer about the Bayonetta 1 and 2 port. They may say, oh, so Bayonetta 3, we're working really, you know, they'll have an interview from Platinum Games, like, oh, we're working really hard on Bayonetta 3, you know, Kami will be like, yeah, thanks for coming by, we're working on it, see you soon, you know? Like, that's something I think we'll see for Bayonetta 1 through 3. That's what I think is going to happen, actually.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Do you think in the interview would they announce, like, if it's coming in 2018? Because I kind of see the appeal of saying, you know, it's coming out this year, so buy, you know, 1 and 2 so you can catch up on everything, you know, before it comes out at the end. The third one comes out at the end of the year. I kind of see that kind of appeal happening. But then again, there's also some people who would be like, just wait for Bayonetta 3. So it's hard to say. But I think there's also a big audience that, you know, hasn't played the first ones. You know, they haven't played 1 and 2, so they might want to buy those and catch up before, you know, the game comes out.
I could see Bayonetta 3 being an early 2019 game. You know?
Oh. What? No, I didn't hear what you said.
I could see Bayonetta 3 being an early 2019 game.
Yeah, that's also a possibility. I mean, the franchise it's kind of among Nintendo fans, kind of a cult classic.
Right. Well, it's going to grow in popularity now. Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch, that's going to sell well. It's probably going to be the best-selling of the franchise. You know, if it's on Switch, that automatically means it's going to sell really well, basically. So, and it's going to be a good setup for Bayonetta 3.
I'm wondering how big the franchise is in Nintendo's eyes. Because if it's this big franchise to them, then they're going to want it out in the holidays.
They showed it off at the Game Awards.
Yeah, it's true.
That's not necessarily true, though, because Mario Kart's a huge franchise. That came out early. You know, I mean, Zelda obviously came out in March, but it was because it was with the Switch, I know.
Yeah. But then Mario
Smash
Kart
Brothers
also...
has come out during summers a lot, so I don't know about that. I wouldn't say that's for sure.
It's interesting. I don't know, but there's also multiplayer games which do really well in the summer. So, and Mario Kart came out like right after the Switch came out, which came out in a weird time, like for video game consoles. So that whole situation's kind of strange. But I think, if they don't, it depends, because I can see them thinking of it as maybe more of a mid-tier, IP for them. I definitely don't think that they see it as one of their biggest ones. It's kind of a niche game in a way, from what I've seen from sales and different things like that. So it's hard to say. It could definitely come out early 2019, but they usually keep that for some of their smaller titles. So it's hard to say what Nintendo sees Bayonetta as.
I think they definitely have a lot of respect for the franchise. They showed it off at the Game Awards, so that's it's a great demonstration of how much smarter Nintendo is now. They know their audience. This is way better than the Cranky Kong days, So, they know that Bayonetta 3 was the right time. That showing it off at the Game Awards was good timing. That was a good time for it. But, Josh Sheriff, we'll be talking about Animal Crossing too as well. There's a lot of games we're going to be talking about tonight. And thanks, Kimishima. I'm glad you liked the thumbnail. So, and yes, the thumbnail is a hint as to what we're going to be talking about tonight, in case any of you are curious. So, yeah, it's all I'm going to say in terms for Bayonetta. I think we're definitely going to see more on Bayonetta 1 and 2 at the Direct. The game's coming out in February, the port, right? But because that port is coming out early this year, maybe it'll come out this holiday season, but I don't think so, because I think there's a good chance Metroid will be coming. I think there's a good chance Pokemon will be coming. So I don't. You
don't want to overshadow Bayonetta with those games.
And there's a few other games that could be coming that we haven't even talked about yet. So like one of those games is Fire Emblem. We know Fire Emblem is coming out 2018. In fact, that's a game we haven't heard about for a while. Right, and I think Fire Emblem will probably get a big trailer in early January in the Direct. We're going to see that full console Switch Fire Emblem game. I expect it to be kind of like what we're seeing on the 3DS, except with way better resolution and prettier looking, basically.
From what I've heard, the director said they wanted to make it. They said the leap in hardware from what they've been using previously, for the 3DS or the Switch is so big, they really wanted to take advantage of that and really make it like a really beautiful game. So I think we can expect a lot out of the graphics of that game.
Right. Hello, Mr. L, the Green Thunder. How you doing, man? But I definitely, I think it's basically going to be like a much prettier version from what we're seeing on the 3DS, And I think that alone is great. The fact that it's still portable, it's going to be in HD. That alone is going to make a big difference. Maybe they won't use like a 2D sort of movement style, right? Maybe it will be in like a more 3D-esque environment. That's possible. Because they do kind of still use like a 2D sort of movement style. I still think they might move around in like the grid-like fashion, but maybe it'll be better looking, a lot better looking. There could be some free roam introduced. I don't know.
I'm wondering if they'll have some kind of more exploration focus, like in between the different places you're going to. Maybe there'll be like a 3D environment you can run around in, and then you go into the grid-based battles or something like that. It's hard to say how they'll take advantage of the new hardware they have, and just how much of a leap it is between the 3DS and the Switch. It's hard to say how much they'll use that for gameplay as well.
Yeah, so that's exactly how it's going to look. I'm not sure either, but I think we're both in agreement. We're definitely seeing Fire Emblem in the Nintendo Direct this January.
I think it's going to be a big focus.
Yeah.
I think there's even a possibility that it could come out, in the summer.
I think it's going to be more of an earlier title, right? Summer being somewhere between, quarter 1 and 2 of 2018.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be late spring or early to mid summer.
I'd say late quarter 3. So like a little bit after E3 is possible. Yeah. So it's not going to be a holiday title though.
No, I don't think so.
No. So then, let's talk about, I guess, Animal Crossing, right?
All right.
So
trying to even figure out what I think about this.
I think Animal Crossing could be announced. I know people want it. I don't know if Animal Crossing will be announced shown off in the Direct, though. I think it's one of those games that could be shown off at E3 and come out like a couple months later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could see it being a game that they'll announce at E3 and then it'll come out like in August or September. I don't think they need to show it off in the Direct, but they might. I know there's a lot of fans that are out. There's a lot of outcry for Animal Crossing. So, yeah.
I think they definitely could, especially if they want to capitalize on the hype of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, or people are playing that. Who knows? Mobile games, they rise and they fall. They're like a flower. They just wither away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never know how long a mobile game's appeal will last, so you never know how long that influence will last. So they might want to show off Animal Crossing while there's still that, still a lot of people playing.
Okay, so maybe take advantage of that. Okay, that makes sense, actually. I see what you're saying.
But they definitely could wait till E3, I think. That's definitely a possibility. Yeah. But I think there's definitely going to be a game announced sometime soon. There's been a trend of them having mobile games and then having a console version of that same IP. They did that for Mario Run, Mario Odyssey. They did that for Fire Emblem. What was it? Heroes? They had Fire Emblem Echoes, I think, came out around the same time. So they've been doing that lately a lot. So I could definitely see them doing that again. And they had Pokemon Go come out right around when Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was out. So they've been doing that a lot. So I definitely think that we'll see some kind of Animal Crossing on the Switch sometime soon.
Well, I think we're definitely going to see it. I think it's just a matter of time. Actually, I was just reading the comments. 1, Josh Sheriff wants to know where you're located, Brandon. Okay.
Oh.
2, you answer that question. We'll get to the next couple of questions.
Okay, yeah. I'm currently in Oklahoma. I'm visiting some friends that I've known my whole life. So I am not at my house.
He's bonding for the holidays.
A long way away.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm on vacation, but I am coming home, I think, tomorrow. Late tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, late tomorrow.
It's a drive for you, right? You're not that far from Oklahoma?
Yeah, I think it was like an 8-hour drive.
I mean, it's a long drive, but
it's a pretty long drive.
It's drivable, at least. Yeah. So, a couple things from Tatsumi Kimishima. 1, hey, at least this Direct won't use half the time explaining Xenoblade Chronicles 2 battle system. That is true. The battle system is pretty in-depth. I actually put up a video last week that's been pretty successful. I explained a decent part of it, but I make a couple more explanations for how the battle system works in Xenoblade. It's pretty crazy. And then, as Kimishima said, question mark, they'll never release a big game like that within 4 months of reveal. I'm pretty sure he's referring to my Animal Crossing comments where I was talking about how they might not even show it off at the Direct, and then they'll just show it off at E3 and release it a few months later. I guess we just gotta disagree on that. I could be wrong for sure. My personal opinion is just that they may show it off. I mean, like Brandon said, it's one of those things that they may want to really jump on that momentum from the mobile game. So, yeah, I mean, I could be wrong here. I'm really just thinking about my gut.
Yeah, I mean, they did announce Metroid, Samus Returns. That's the name of it, right?
Yeah.
On the 3DS. They announced that.
Right, and it came out just a couple months afterwards. Yeah, and I think Metroid Samus Returns is huge. I love Metroid Samus Returns. I think it's the biggest game on the 3DS that came out this year, and they showed it off just a couple months after E3. So, I don't know, it's hard to say. Animal Crossing is not as big as, say, Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey, right? But it is big. I know it's big. So, I'm not saying it's not big. So, we'll see. For sure. I like I said, I could be wrong. It may be announced at the Direct. So Brandon thinks so. Yeah.
I think there's a possibility. I would like to see it for sure. So I might be a little biased there. But I think they definitely could capitalize, as I was saying, on the momentum and kind of the hype that the mobile game has been having. So.
For sure. Also, Monolith Gaming, shout out. He loves us. We love you too, man.
Yeah, bro.
We should get you on the discussion sometime soon. Yeah. Now Kimishima is saying that he thinks Metroid Samus Returns is great, but it's not a big Switch game. No, it's not a big Switch game. No, I think it was a pretty big 3DS game though. But I don't know. I guess we have to look at sales numbers here. I'm pretty sure you're right. Animal Crossing, in terms of sales, is a bigger game than Metroid. I guess you're right in that respect. So, maybe, like I said, maybe I'm wrong.
But then again, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, what was that announced just a couple months before that came out.
Right.
I mean, ARMS was announced just a couple months before it came out. I mean, there's a slightly bigger gap. Yeah, I mean, there's a slightly bigger gap between those, 4 months compared to like 6 or 7 months. But in the grand scheme of things, how big is that difference? It's not big at all. So I think there's definitely they've already done it before. Why couldn't they do it again?
Man, it's also possible that Nintendo may like to hear Animal Crossing fans squirm and cry and scream, because if it's not announced at the Direct, they'll be very sad. But it doesn't mean it's not coming out this year. So we'll see what happens with that. I just feel like part of my thing with Animal Crossing is that I just feel like there hasn't been that much that's changed. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, to show it off is not necessarily like, oh, this is huge. It's not it's whatever we get with Animal Crossing, I feel like it's not going to be that different from what we got on the last 3DS entry. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think
it's going to be better looking, but it's Animal Crossing.
I don't know. I think there's ways that they could make it more exciting than I think they could do things with the game. It's not.
You can get married.
There's definitely what?
And have kids, and each kid could be a hybrid animal. Like if you have a cat character and a lion character, they get married and then they create a liger character.
I mean, maybe for the animals, but you're a human, so
yeah.
I guess you could. That would be weird. I don't know. I don't know if that would work or not.
You're right. You are human, but maybe you won't be human this time, or maybe what you do in this game is you get other people more connected. So you'll have. What if it's something like that, right? Like, what if they focus more on the interactions even more so? So it's kind of what you do. Your job is sort of to, like, bond people, bring the community together, really work on the different connections that different people have. Not just to yourself, but the other characters within your town. Just an idea,
Yeah.
I'm not an Animal Crossing veteran. I've only played the GameCube version and the DS version. I did not play the 3DS version.
I've only played New Leaf. I've only played New Leaf and Pocket Camp, so
yeah.
But I played New Leaf I played a pretty long time, so I loved that game.
Okay, so awesome. Brandon, do you have any? I think we're finally gonna see Pikmin 4. I'm just saying, we're finally gonna see Pikmin 4.
Gosh.
Actually, you know what? That could be another game they'll save until E3 and be like, ha,
screw you.
Yeah. That's another game they just have there ready to be like, boom, Pikmin 4, I think that's going to be shown off soon. I think it's going to be shown off soon.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that game could come out in the spring. I think they could totally come out and be like, hey, here's Pikmin 4. I know we've been teasing this game for forever. Here you go. It's coming out in 4 or 5 months. I think that could be a thing, because a lot of people seem to have this strange worry that Nintendo's just going to suddenly drop the ball and leave us with, no games for several months or something. I don't know why they're worried about this, because, I mean, if they wanted to, they could have easily pushed back the, just absolutely just tons of games that came out in the last, month in November. They could have easily pushed those back. They could have pushed Xenoblade 2 back if they didn't have any content. But apparently some people are worried.
Could have. They rushed out
there's
Xenoblade 2.
There's going to be, no games.
They rushed out Xenoblade 2. That game needs a patch.
Yeah.
I love it, but it needs a patch or two,
It does.
It could have benefited for having 3 more months of development time.
Yeah.
And
it's getting an update that's coming out soon, but unfortunately it's not fixing the graphics on the handheld, so...
What's it going to fix?
It's fixing like gameplay stuff. I think when you hit X to pull up your map, it actually pulls up to where you are instead of just everything. You know what I'm saying? And you hit X and it just pulls up like all the maps instead of where you are.
Yeah.
Which is super annoying. Yeah. Apparently, when you're gonna hit X, it's gonna pull up the map like exactly where you are. And different changes like that, and just some small gameplay changes.
Small changes. It's a lot of changes I'll probably enjoy when I start playing that DLC pack. So, I don't think we're going to see anything about the DLC. We may see something about... Let's talk about Xenoblade, because Xenoblade's awesome. I think we may see something about the first DLC pack. I have to double check what the DLC pack even is, but I think the first pack is just like armor or something, so... Not armor. There's no armor in Xenoblade.
It's not...
What?
Well, I mean, technically there is armor, but I mean, sort of pseudo armor.
Like armor, but you don't see the armor. Like it's not something.
Yeah, you don't.
It's like, what are they going to show? Oh, look at all this text. You can get all of this. It buffs your HP by 50%.
Your appearance is so that the game could come out sooner. I'm pretty sure that's why.
Really?
I'm like 75% sure the reason you can't change how you look in the game is because it would have taken too long for them to make all the assets.
Maybe. But at the same time, like, they didn't need to bring it out in December. I don't know.
No.
They definitely
didn't. I think they definitely have a ton of content planned for 2018 that we don't know of. I'm expecting a lot of, this game's coming out in like 2-3 months.
There's already multiple games that have been announced. Pikmin? Okay, Pikmin's technically not announced. I don't know. I don't know what you can call Pikmin, but we know it's almost done. It's been almost done for like 2 years. Literally. There's an interview from Shigeru Miyamoto halfway through 2015. Google it. 2015. Midway through 2015.
2016.
I looked this up the other day. 2015.
Oh, did you?
2015, okay. He said that Pikmin 4 is near the end of development. Okay, so Google it. I know. I looked this up like last week. Trust me. So that game is just ready. They're just ready. Yeah. Like that game is ready.
And for all the people who are trying to say, oh, that was the 3DS one. No, they already said it wasn't. They already confirmed the 3DS one is not Pikmin 4 that they were talking about before. Google that as well.
So Pikmin is ready. We know Fire Emblem's confirmed. Yoshi and Kirby are coming out next year. Okay, Pokemon Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 1 and 2 and Metroid Prime 4 have been announced. We don't know when they're coming, but they have been announced. So that's a lot of games already that have been announced. And in terms of third parties, we know Wolfenstein 2 is coming as well. So that's like the only third party I can think of right now, actually. But it's a good one. That's a lot. That's a lot already. And we haven't gotten the January Direct yet. The big thing is we don't know when these things are coming, But like I said, we talked about Animal Crossing. That could be announced soon, right? We just had the Pocket game. There's got to be an Animal Crossing coming to Switch eventually. So there's that, right? I think there's got to be a racing game coming to Switch at some point in 2018. I think there has to be.
I think there could be.
But it's just kind of like... But what, though? Not Mario Kart. So what does that leave?
Obviously not.
It leaves the Excite series. It leaves Wave Race and F-Zero. And then there's also Kirby Air Ride and DK Jumble Rumble Barrel Blaster, but I'm not... There's a Kirby game coming out, so I don't think it's that. We also don't know what Retro Studios is working on. We may finally get an announcement for Retro Studios about what they're working on.
Mm-hmm. What if Retro Studios is working on F-Zero?
So happy. I would just be ecstatic. I would be ecstatic. I would freak out. Like, that is just... Maybe, because his thing is, Retro Studios did work with the Mario Kart team on the 3DS to help develop some of the maps. So maybe when they sent staff over there, got a little bit of experience with racing games. So that could help. That is possible. F-Zero could be the racing game we're all waiting for from Retro. Maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
The thing is, when you think about the games that Retro Studios makes, they kind of make sense, actually. Now, let me explain. It makes sense because, one, F-Zero needs a bit of a revive, right? Retro Studios revived the Metroid series. Retro Studios revived the Donkey Kong Country series. F-Zero needs kind of a revive, So maybe Retro could be bringing that back. There's a whole bunch of other franchises they could be reviving, though, so that's not the only thing. The other thing is that they're really good at making games that are challenging, like challenging kind of games, like really hard, painstakingly hard games. And F-Zero is painstakingly hard, incredibly hard. So that could work. And when you factor in the experience with working with Mario Kart, maybe that's the game. That is possible. But of course, it could be something else entirely different, right? Star Tropics, as Mikhail Casanova suggested last week, right? Or it could be, maybe they're actually remaking Mother 3 instead of localizing Mother 3. That would be
your absolutely insane plan or idea.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane, right? But speaking of Mother 3, I think it's about time we hear about it.
Insanely awesome.
Yeah, it'd be amazing, right? I mean, that's the other thing, though. We don't have an RPG. We got Xenoblade 2. I think we should get another RPG this year. Of course, there's Fire Emblem, which is kind of like an RPG. And then there's Pokemon, which is... Okay, I take it back. Fire Emblem and Pokemon may be enough to satisfy that RPG need, desire. So... But, actually, since we're talking about Mother 3, right?
Well, honestly, before we move on to that, just a quick thing I'd like to say is I've heard some people be like, please, Retro, don't be working on another Donkey Kong Country game. But if they were working on a Donkey Kong Country game, I'd actually be really happy because I love Tropical Freeze. It's like one of my favorite 2D platforming games.
I would buy it.
Dude, I'd totally buy it in an instant.
I would like to see... I wouldn't mind if it was Donkey Kong, but not Donkey Kong Country, like Donkey
3D
Kong
game?
Switch. Like a Donkey Kong 64 successor.
That would be awesome. That would be amazing. Dude, I'd freak out over that.
I would love that. That would be amazing. So maybe that. Maybe it could be that. I wouldn't mind that at all. So, and the other thing is that I wouldn't mind Retro working on another Donkey Kong game if it meant that I mean, it's fine because we have other games now. The thing is, back then, during the Wii U era, we were so starved for, like Zelda, Mario, Metroid, that when we found out Retro was just making another Donkey Kong Country game, we're like, what the hell? Because we needed the other games. Yeah. But we're getting the other games now. So it's not like...
We don't need them to be working on Metroid Prime 4 anymore.
Right, exactly. So, I don't know. It could be a Donkey Kong game. It could be F-Zero. I just think there's got to be at least one racing game coming from Nintendo this year. Maybe another sports game too. Maybe we'll see Mario Strikers Charge this year.
Maybe we'll see a Mario Party. A good one.
Good Mario Party. Mario Party's totally coming. I mean,
please, Nintendo, let Mario Party 11 not suck.
I really like the Mario Party 100 idea. It's a shame that they wasted it on the 3DS.
Why is that on the 3DS?
Yeah, but, maybe they can make a legitimate Mario Party game. Hopefully it's good.
When we don't all sit in the same stupid car on the stupidly boring levels.
Right. And I hope it's better than 1-2 Switch, because I feel like they're going to totally take advantage of all the fun, wonky, like the IR sensor and all the motion controls and all that stuff. Like, they're going to take advantage of all of that.
1-2 Switch had some really cool ideas. I just think it should have been mini games in a full game. It felt like a tech demo. But I think those were all good ideas. Like generally, people liked the mini games that were in the game.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good enough package by itself.
So I think if they use the different motion controls, HD rumble, the IR sensor for mini games in Mario Party 11, that would be really cool.
Yeah, no, there's potential there. I just hope that there's more than 20 mini games and
right.
And the actual board game features aren't boring.
If you just take me out of that damn car, I'll be happy.
The car? Dude. I haven't even played the most recent Mario parties, so they're boring. So
that's their problem. You're all in the same car. It's like you're trying to fight against each other, but you're working together as well. It's the weirdest crap.
So, do you think we're gonna get a Smash Brothers announcement?
At this Direct, I think it's a 50-50 chance. I think there's a 50-50 shot here that we could see Smash Brothers. I kind of don't think they have to have Smash Brothers out next year. I kind of don't think they do. You know what I'm saying? I think they have enough other stuff that if they don't have to have Smash Brothers out. I think it'd be great if they did have Smash Brothers out, but I'm kind of hoping that it's not, just a slightly enhanced Wii U version. Which obviously I think if it was going to be, I think it would already been announced or already been out or would be coming out soon.
If we don't see Smash this year, I don't think we're going to see it for a few years.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking. I don't think it's going to be just a slightly upgraded Wii U port. I think if they do work off of the Wii U version, it's going to have a lot of stuff that's different. I think it's going to have a lot of 3DS stages remade for it.
I think it's going to be like a Splatoon 2 to Splatoon sort of makeover. Yeah. Where it's going to be graphically improved. You're going to be able to tell. There's going to be a lot more content. Yeah, they're going to add to it. It's going to be like an expansion of the idea. And I think that's what's going to happen.
And
that could still happen.
To be a full-fledged single-player mode. Like
that's the thing about Smash 4 that I don't like. Like, the single player is just trash. And actually the online is kind of like whatever too. So it's just like, and if you have no friends, Smash 4 is like not even good.
It's not. Smash 4 is my least favorite Smash Brothers ever.
But I think part of the problem is just the community they have around me right now. This is my community. No one. Dolls.
Dude, I know it. Dude, gosh. Unless I play online, like I don't play those kind of like multiplayer games. Like if I didn't have like my subscribers to play with Mario Kart 8 online, there's no way I'd be at almost 100 hours in that game. Like, I hardly ever play with friends. Like, literally, this week, I've had friends who actually like Mario Kart, so I play Mario Kart more now with friends than I have the entire time I've had my Switch or the Wii U.
I don't even think I like online games. That may seem kind of crazy. I like online games, don't get me wrong. It's just kind of one of those things where, like, sometimes I feel like online games fail to give me enough incentive to move forward, right? So, like, playing Mario Kart Online, my only incentive is to increase the number. Like, I need more than that. I need more than that. It's just that simple. I need more than that. I like playing Mario Kart with friends. I like competing. That's fun. Occasionally, I haven't played Splatoon in a while, actually. So, maybe that kind of goes to... There's a lot of content in Splatoon, though. So, that's a little different. But still, I think in general... Personally, I just need a little bit more incentive than just to raise your rating. I need more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Which is... Yeah, I don't ever play... Unless I'm playing for, like, a subscriber thing, I don't play Mario Kart.
Yeah, I love Mario Kart. Occasionally I'll pop it in just to play, race, do a time trial. But I don't really get off on playing online that often. That's my own personal preference, though. I hate humans. So, I don't... If there's no reason to compel my competitive nature, I'm just gonna find something else to do. So
my father actually is the same way. He hates all online games because he's I don't know, like he just hates playing online games because he doesn't want to play with other people. He just wants to go play the game by himself.
It's not like I don't. When an online game comes, I'll play it for a little while. I might play it for like a month, but I'll stop. I won't continue. I see people play Splatoon like every day, Mario Kart like every day. I don't play them every day. So
I used to do that, but only because I streamed it. Otherwise, I would not have played it every day.
Also, I agree with you, Tatsumi Kimishima. I'm sorry we took so long to respond, but I definitely think that we should be able to vote for minigames in the next Mario Party, for sure. So that should definitely happen. But
yeah.
So I think Smash Brothers should be announced, and I think it would just to get Smash Brothers out next year. It's just kind of like a checkmate move. If you get Pokemon and Smash Brothers out next year, it's checkmate, man. It's checkmate. Like, it's just kind of like after Zelda, Mario, and Mario Kart, and Xenoblade, like, you get Smash and Pokemon out next year on the Switch. Checkmate. Like, there's no coming back from that. The amount of momentum and sales will be ridiculous. So I definitely think Smash Brothers should come out. I think it's going to be a summer game. I think Smash Brothers is going to be a summer game, and it's going to be shown off at the Direct. I think that's going to happen.
You think it'll be a summer game? That's interesting. I think...
There's one minor possibility that Brawl Out, the indie game, you know, maybe they communicate with Nintendo and are like, hey, look, we'll get Brawl Out on your system first, right? If like, maybe there's some communication there. Maybe the fact that it came out first on Nintendo Switch is an indicator that Smash is kind of a ways off. I hope not, because Brawl Out is not really, you know, it's fun. If you're a hardcore Smash fan, I'm sure you're gonna really like it, right? But it's like, it's not Smash, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not gonna be happy with a Smash Brothers Wii U port unless they change a lot about the game. They have to put a lot of new content in there.
I think they should bring back most, if not all, the 3DS stages, right? The fact that a console Smash Bros. Didn't have Corneria, like, really? I need Corneria. Okay, I want to, and classic mode needs to actually be classic, right? Classic mode in Smash 4 was not classic at all. You played on a Game Boy and it was boring. Yeah. Right? I want like actual classic mode. I want maybe bring back an adventure mode like from Melee or something like that.
Or like a Subspace Emissary, but better.
Right,
I think
but better.
Smash has such a potential for a really good, like, you know, story mode.
Also,
where
fix
all the characters
mode.
from all the different IPs across Nintendo and, you know, some various other third-party companies all come together and have one big story. That would be freaking amazing.
A huge budget. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I know, but it needs to happen.
If it's coming out next year, it's not happening.
No, it's not.
I think they could still have a good adventure mode. I think they could still add some pretty good single-player options. I just don't think it's going to be a Subspace Emissary with a whole bunch of cutscenes, right? So
yeah,
and I don't need the cutscenes, to be honest. I don't need it. I do want a narrative, but you can do that in different ways. Like, I like maybe in a more expanded adventure mode, right? Which almost is like Subspace Emissary, but not exactly. You know, like, something along those lines. Maybe multiple adventure modes. Like, maybe each character has their own slightly different adventure mode, you know? Something like that would be really cool. On top of Classic, right? Bring back more mini-games. Like, I know they had a home run contest and stuff. I'm trying to remember if there was a target contest. I think there was, but it wasn't, like, an individual target contest like it was in previous games. It was, like, there's, like, 3 different levels of target contest.
Yeah, pretty much I think you just hit stuff at the targets. Right? You just smack stuff with a baseball bat at the targets.
I want to bring it back.
Lame.
I also I would like Smash Run. Bring this 3DS Smash Run into the Switch. That would be cool. And also fix the tournament mode, because I really miss being able to do local offline tournament modes, even if I was only playing by myself. Right? Like setting up a 64-man bracket and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do a tournament. You know, like that was cool.
Yeah.
So I want to do something like that. But they took it out in Smash 4, which is one of my favorite features.
Yeah.
So I hope they bring it
back. But as you were saying, like, Target Smash in the N64 was so cool. Like, you had to run around the level, you had to use all your different abilities for your character had to try to get all of the targets in set time. It's like Smash Wii U's target was, hey, there's this thing. It was like a bomb or something, I think, you have to hit. Like, just see how many targets you can blow up and get points. Like, that was lame. That was not cool.
Yeah.
And, like, the single-player in the N64 one had, like, all kinds of different, you know, things, different challenges that you didn't have in the normal multiplayer. The one, it had different, unique fights that you had to do. You know what I'm saying? And the Wii U one was just like, hey, play a couple battles and fight Master Hand and Crazy Hand. There you go. Over and over again. It's like, no. Why? That's not fun.
Was there an event mode? There was an event mode. I'm pretty sure there was. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
In the Wii U one?
Yeah. There had to have been, right? I think there was. There definitely was an event mode. Yeah, there was. But I want more events. I want them to bring back more events. Maybe create entirely new events. Scrap the event mode in Smash Wii U and create entirely new events. You know, make it so that if you play Smash Wii U, you're not going to feel like you're playing the same game, you know? I think that'd be really cool. I think that'd be really cool. In terms of characters, though, I think you bring back the entire roster. Okay.
Obviously.
All the DLC's got to be in it. All of it. All the DLC's got to be in it. I think you announce, I guess, I mean, I don't think an Inkling, I guess, bring that one of them. Bring back, what are some characters that were missing? Maybe bring
Ice Climbers.
Wolf. Ice Climbers. There's no reason to not have Ice Climbers on the Switch, right? The
No.
whole reason that they didn't have it was because the 3DS couldn't make some sort of weird CPU thing of not being able to do the physics of the two Ice Climbers together or something.
Yeah, the problem was when you played like 8-player Smash, it was like you had 9 players, or if everyone plays the Ice Climbers, it was like you had 16 players, and 3 just couldn't run that. So.
Oh, so instead of just saying, "Oh, you can't use," okay, they just scrapped them. So yeah,
pretty much they had them fully working on the Wii U version.
Right,
and then make it.
Which is interesting is that 1080p 60 FPS is already being accomplished on the Wii U, so I expect 1080p 60 FPS on the Switch easy.
720p 60 FPS on handheld mode easy.
Yeah, easy. Right, definitely, absolutely. Maybe.
I think they'll probably. Maybe
I don't even know what they could do to improve the graphics, to be honest.
I don't know. Maybe raise the quality of the textures, have cooler looking effects when you do stuff. I don't know. There was some textures in the Wii U one that definitely were kind of ugly.
Maybe clean up some of the textures, and that's pretty much what you're gonna do. Clean up some of the textures.
Yeah.
Maybe add a more dynamic lighting engine. I don't know.
Maybe make the
actually lighting can make a huge difference. By the way,
lighting can make a
so maybe they could have some sort of particle effect. Like in Xenoblade 2 has some really good particle effects. Maybe they did something like that.
For sure.
Implement that into Smash to make some see like the particles and you see the light reflecting off the different characters. So adding that with slightly cleaner textures.
I don't think that the character models had ambient occlusion on them, which is a lighting effect that makes shadows look more realistic. So they could add that. Because ambient occlusion really makes character models pop. I mean, the character models in Xenoblade have ambient occlusion, and they look really good. A lot of it's because of the ambient occlusion, which makes the lighting kind of more realistically flow over the characters, and the shadows are more realistically placed and things like that. So I think they could add that to the character models. The character models look pretty good in the Wii U one, but I think with the Switch's extra horsepower, I think they could make the character models a little more refined. So,
I just expect the textures to be. It's gonna be a minor upgrade. Upgrade.
Yeah, I think they're.
What we're talking about with this ambient occlusion lighting engine could really, just implementing a better lighting engine could really make a difference. Add the pop. So. Yeah, and I think that's gonna be Smash Brothers. I think a few new characters. So returning I think they'll bring Ice Climbers. I think they'll be Inkling, boy and girl, but it'll be like a costume swap. Right? Maybe bring Wolf.
Wolf is a pretty highly requested character. I think there's no reason they shouldn't bring him back.
Yeah. You change some of the characters. So, Link's got to get the Breath of the Wild update. Mario gets the Mario Odyssey update. There won't be... Maybe there's a bit of a Metroid update. I don't think there needs to be, but there might be.
That's the thing about Mario Odyssey. I think... if they wanted to, they could make Mario feel very different than he does currently. Or make there be a separate Mario that uses Mario Odyssey Mario, and you could have transformations as part of his abilities, all kinds of amazing things you could do with Mario. Because lately Mario, I mean, where we have normal Mario, we have Luigi,
there's a Dr. Mario too. So
yeah, Dr. Mario, which feels almost exactly like the normal Mario.
So what if they included? What if they included another tag team character like Ice Climbers, except it was Baby Mario and Luigi?
Ooh.
That's interesting.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I heard that. Ooh, you were like, oh wow, that's a good idea. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but honestly, I really hope that they do something new with Mario, add some Mario Odyssey abilities, because Mario...
I lost Brandon for a second.
The entirety of Smash.
Okay. So, Benjamin S. just said, Metroid Prime 4 gameplay trailer, Fire Emblem Switch, and Pokemon Switch gameplay. I am in total agreement with you. I think we're definitely going to see Fire Emblem. I have high hopes of seeing Metroid and Pokemon at the Direct, but I think there's a chance we might not see Pokemon, but it still may come this year. So, yeah. If we see all three, man, I'll be floored,
Gosh.
And what's crazy, all those games are announced, so maybe we really will see it.
Yeah, as I said, I think for Pokemon that we're going to get a teaser, and then we're going to get a Pokemon Direct. That's just how the Pokemon Company works. Yeah. So that's most likely what's going to happen.
Yeah, and in terms of Bayonetta 3 gameplay, Benjamin, I want to see Bayonetta 3, but if you think about here's the thing, like, they showed off the Game Awards, so, like, they just showed off the Game Awards, like, teaser, like, I could see them showing more. But I also think they might hold back anything, because Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming out in February, so maybe they'll talk more about Bayonetta 1 and 2, but they might have another little teaser, or, like, an interview from Kamiya or something from Platinum Games. So I think Bayonetta 3 is going to be mentioned at the Direct. I just don't think we're going to get a full-on gameplay trailer because of Bayonetta 1 and 2. Even if the game is coming out this year. It may not even come out this year. It could be like an early 2019 title, but I think...
We could get a small...
Something small, though. Not like a full-on trailer. I still don't think we're going to get... I think the full-on trailer comes at E3.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking we might see gameplay, like, just to see how the game looks when it's running, you know.
But if it doesn't look that much different from Bayonetta 2, they may not even feel like they need to show it, you know?
Yeah, it depends on how far they're going. But then again, if it's not going to look that much better, why move to Unreal Engine 4?
I don't know. Maybe it will look a lot better. Maybe it'll actually run at 60 frames per second with locked. It'd be great if they could get the game to run at 1080p 60 FPS. That's the thing. Like if it basically looks like Bayonetta 2 but with cleaner textures, right? More detailed textures, right? Slightly better lighting, and it runs at 1080p 60 FPS. That would be a great improvement for me, you know?
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see. I think we're definitely going to hear about Bayonetta at the Direct, for sure. I just don't know exactly how much we're going to see of Bayonetta 3, you know? Prime 4 trailer, like I said, if we see the Prime 4 trailer, it's because the game is coming out this year, right? Pokemon, if it's not there, that doesn't mean it's not coming, because Pokemon Company likes to show off Pokemon. They're independent of Nintendo, so they can show things off at a later date. They usually do that anyways. Most Pokemon games aren't even announced at Directs, so I expect that. I think Smash Brothers has a decent chance of being shown off, but if it's not shown off, I don't think it's coming this year.
No, it's not. If it's not shown off, it's not coming this year.
Yeah. I think the Pikmin 4 thing could also be something they could save till E3, maybe. But they could also that thing is ready. Like that, it's just waiting for that. Animal Crossing, we debated this, but we think it'll probably be shown off sometime this year. Brandon, you said that it would be a better idea to bring it out this year because of, you know, the whole mobile game momentum. So, yeah. I mean, what else is there? I think Kirby and Yoshi are both going to be shown off. We're going to get a trailer for each game. They're both going to have titles. They're both going to have release dates. We're going to get a full-on trailer for Fire Emblem. What else is there? I don't think Soul Calibur VI is going to be announced at the Direct, actually, because some news came out recently from Bandai Namco that the reason that they are not bringing the game is not because they don't want to. It's because they started development and they didn't. When they started development, they did not think the Switch was going to be a good business choice for them. But now it obviously is. Right now it obviously is. The game is running on Unreal Engine 4. So, and with considering the history of how Soul Calibur 2 sold best on the GameCube, I definitely think Soul Calibur 6 is coming to the Nintendo Switch, but it's not going to be coming soon. I think it's going to be like a delayed port. It's going to come out after the other versions a few months later. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But so we're not going to see it at the Direct, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think there's
we
any way we're
might,
going to see it.
But I think I guess we're talking about third-party stuff now. I think we might see a trailer for Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch. I think that's going to happen. You know, I think we're going to see Dragon Ball FighterZ, or Dragon Ball Fighters, announced for the Nintendo Switch, actually. And that game's been talked about for a while now. So people have been begging for it on the Switch, and I'm pretty sure it could easily run on the Switch, and they showed interest. So
yeah.
I think that's going to get an announcement this Direct, probably.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a possibility. Obviously, we're going to see Wolfenstein 2 that's coming out early 2018, so what better time is there to show it than on a January Direct? That just makes sense.
Right.
Dragon Ball FighterZ, something a lot of people have been begging for. So, I mean, what was the one that sold really well on the Switch that's already out? What's that one called?
Xenoverse?
Yeah, Dragon Ball Xenoverse has been doing really well on the Switch. In fact, it sold the best on the Switch compared to the other version. It sold better.
Right, so Bandai wants that. Bandai knows. That's the thing, man. Bandai knows that these games sell well on the Switch, so there's like no reason to think that Soul Calibur... You know, they know that Soul Calibur 6, with Link and Fire Emblem characters, they know that game is going to sell really well. It's just not ready to be announced yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I think Bandai Namco was the one that said they have, several Switch announcements in the wings, so we could definitely see some of those during this January Direct.
Yeah, actually, Benjamin brought up an interesting point. Well, let me read both his messages, though. So, this is kind of hyped for Fire Emblem, but he doesn't necessarily like the Fire Emblem stories. Some might disagree with him. Yeah, I'm hyped for the Fire Emblem game. I haven't played the most recent 3DS one, so, I'm kind of with you there. But, I don't know about the story. I can't say whether it's good or bad because I haven't played them. But I did like the Game Boy Advance ones, so... Yeah, and he's saying Bandai said it was coming to PS4, PC, and Xbox One. I don't think... They never said it was coming to Switch, but there was that title thing on the website, so maybe some people think that they were going to announce it, but they're holding it back for the Direct. Maybe that interview from Bandai Namco is a straight-up lie. I don't think it is. But regardless, I think Soul Calibur VI will eventually come to the Switch. It just may not come out with the other systems. Probably won't be coming out with the other systems.
No, I don't think so.
One Piece Seeker on the Switch. It's another game that'll sell well on the Switch, so maybe. One maybe. But there's only so many games Bandai Namco can put on this. I don't know. I definitely Dragon Ball Z Fighters, though. I think that might be announced. And I hope it is, because if it's not announced at the Direct, I'm probably getting it on PS4. So, we'll see what happens. Any other third-party games that you can think of, Brandon, that may be announced for Switch?
I'm trying to think of what third-party games.
I've heard a lot of rumors about Dark Souls.
Yeah, there have been a lot of people saying that like a Dark Souls trilogy or Dark Souls 3 could be ported to the Switch.
That'd be a great game to have come to the Switch, especially since Zelda's not coming out this year. It's not exactly the same. I understand that, but there could be some comparisons made. It's a medieval style kind of game. You run around third person. You fight with a sword a lot of the time. So, it could kind of fill the void for a lot of people. And it's challenging. And actually, Breath of the Wild is most like Dark Souls and any other Zelda game has ever been. So that could be something.
Yeah, for sure. I'd be happy if they have it on the Switch.
Right, actually, Dark Souls would be great for the portable play because it's an RPG. Stopping and going, playing in small spurts. It'd be great, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's a game that wouldn't have too much trouble running on the Switch.
It runs on Unreal, right? I think it's an Unreal
Honestly,
game.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. But regardless, we've heard interviews. There are a lot of rumors. I mean, I think literally the team that makes Dark Souls is on that list of third parties that were on board for the Switch when it was first shown off in January. So I think there's a good chance we'll get a Dark Souls announcement.
Yeah. We've also been hearing a lot of rumors of Fallout 4 coming to the Switch.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Yeah, Fallout 4.
And that game also I don't think would have too much trouble running on the Switch.
Right, but I also think we're not going to see it until like after E3. Like it could be like a November game, like the way Skyrim and Doom were.
Yeah, and when did we see those? We didn't see those till like.
Yeah, so we may not even get them. E3. So I don't think we may not even see a Fallout 4 announcement at the Direct because of that. Yeah,
we didn't see Doom coming out Switch till a couple months before it was released.
But they have Wolfenstein 2 from Bethesda's coming, so they may want people to focus on that. So that's what they're going to show off. Yeah. But Fallout 4 may still be coming this year. So
could see that at E3 or at a Nintendo Direct after, like Doom was.
Right. Dark Souls could also be an E3 announcement. It doesn't have to be coming at the Direct.
Yeah.
So there's another thing. I do think Dragon Ball Z Fighters though could be announced at the Direct, right?
Yeah.
That may be announced.
When is that game coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One?
I think it's coming out in January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, I don't think it would come out at the same time.
No,
maybe
it will not.
A couple months after.
It will not. It may come out 6 months after. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Could be a good summer game. It could definitely be a good summer game.
Actually, I probably will still get it on Switch. I mean, on PS4, because when I think about the amount of time we'll have to wait for it. So, we'll see. We'll see. But
I mean, you could get it for both.
But if it's the same game... I don't know. Maybe I'll end up trading in my PS4 version and getting the Switch version when it comes out.
Yeah, because nothing... I mean... Typically with a console, it's the same game. But with the Switch, it's kind of not the same game because it's portable. So
that is true.
It's odd there.
Well, I guess I'll have to see... Because I'm definitely getting Monster Hunter World on PS4, right? Because that's definitely not coming to Switch. So...
Unfortunately,
right? So... that may keep me busy with my PS4, so I may not end up picking up Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right? And if a couple months pass and I know the game's coming for Switch soon, I may wait. We'll see how it pans out. We'll see.
It could be an early summer title. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, those kind of the kind of multiplayer games do really well in the summer. So
yeah,
I could definitely see it being a summer title.
For sure. So we already know that Mega Man is coming to Switch, and yeah, the Mega Man 11, we know that's coming to Switch.
Yeah, but I don't think they would show it in this January Direct. Do you? I mean, they might, but it's not really.
There's no point.
It's not really
There's
a Nintendo-focused game. I mean, it's coming to all platforms. There's not really anything special about the Switch version as far as we know.
Right.
So there's not really any reason for them to show it off here.
But it could be a part of a compilation trailer of third parties.
Yeah,
if they have a third-party compilation trailer, that may happen. Yeah. So, you know what we're going to see at the Direct for sure? Project Octopath Traveler.
Oh, yes. Gosh,
yeah.
I need that game, man.
We're definitely going to see Project Octopath Traveler.
Another good RPG coming out next year.
Yeah. So... Another game that may be announced for Nintendo Switch will be Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
Actually, there have been a lot of rumors. We forgot. I feel like we forgot about all those rumors because there were so many games coming out.
Dude, we did. Yeah,
but there were a lot of rumors about Final Fantasy 15 coming to the Switch. What version of it? That remains to be seen. But there were a lot of rumors.
I don't think they're gonna have that pocket version or whatever it's called.
Hell no.
There's no way
no.
no.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
That's worse than having nothing. Honestly, especially as far as the Switch's reputation goes, that's worse than having nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think Nintendo's going to allow them to put on something that much worse than the original version on the Switch. That's just asking for people to make comparisons. It's just asking for people to make comparisons.
So then, I think in terms of third parties, that's what I can think of. Maybe Final Fantasy 15, Dark Souls. We just got a couple revelations in 1 and 2 from Capcom, so I don't think that...
Oh, Burnout Paradise supposedly is being remade for the Xbox One, PC, and the Switch. So we might hear something about that.
Burnout?
Yes.
Burnout Paradise. Is there any gameplay out? I haven't seen any gameplay for. I heard about that. I just haven't seen any gameplay.
As far as I know, it's not official. I think it's a rumor. If I'm not mistaken, it's a rumor, right?
I don't know. I don't know. No idea. I've heard about it, but I don't. So that's another option. We may see that.
It is a really good racing game, though.
Yeah,
I love that game.
It'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool to have on Switch for sure. So Benjamin's saying that he said it would be cool for Final Fantasy 15 to come, but they would pretty much have to remake the game from scratch.
Yeah, even on the Xbox One, it doesn't run that well.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, it might make more sense to do that. In which case, it makes you wonder if it's even worth it to bring the game over, especially since it's kind of over. Here's the thing: they're kind of really using a lot of assets from that game. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've seen marketing for all sorts of like mobile versions of that game and like anime stuff. Like that game, like they put so much time and money into it that they're really trying to milk it as much as they can. So there's been tons of DLC for it too. So maybe they will actually, when I consider all of that, right? That they're trying to, get this on any platform possible. So they could be reworking it for Switch because it's cheaper to do that than to create a completely new Final Fantasy already.
They could definitely come in and start putting. I mean, that game could run on the Switch. It doesn't.
I think any game can run on the Switch. It's just a matter of changing around different stuff, right? Yeah. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15 they would have to change a lot because that Luminous engine barely runs on the PS4. So they would have to change a lot. I totally agree with you. It's just kind of one of those things where like it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, that game barely scrapes by on the original Xbox One.
Yeah. So, yeah. But we'll see what happens with that. I personally am not too excited about Final Fantasy 15 coming to Switch. I'm kind of bored
I don't care because it's coming to the PC, so I'm gonna get it on that.
Yeah, I might just pick it up for PS4. I could probably get it for like $20. So, yeah, we'll see. I do like the idea of Final Fantasy VII Remake being announced for the Switch, but no matter what happens, it's definitely coming out on PlayStation first. But we may see an announcement for the Switch sometime this year. I do not think it's even remotely likely that we will see an announcement for Final Fantasy VII Remake during the Direct, though. But maybe at E3. maybe at E3 you'll see an announcement for Final Fantasy VII coming to Switch. But
what do you think about Kingdom Hearts 3 coming to Switch?
Not going to be announced at the Direct. But if
no,
it happens,
I'm just saying, what do you think about it coming to the Switch?
If they want to bring... Yeah, I think
I mean, that one's on Unreal Engine 4 as well.
I think they definitely should. I think any game on Unreal Engine 4, there's literally no reason for it to not come to Switch. You're losing money that way. Any company I mean, if you look at the sales for the Switch, any company that has a game that was made for Unreal Engine 4, it is way too easy and affordable to port the game to the Switch to not do it, considering the sales potential. It just does not make any business sense, which is why I'm very confident Soul Calibur VI will eventually be announced for Switch. Maybe not next couple months, but I think it will eventually come to the Switch because it's too easy to make a lot of money on with it.
Honestly, if you're porting these games, which a lot of them are, slightly more Japanese-focused games, if you're going to port them to the Xbox One, you should port them to the Switch. In fact, for a lot of these games, you should be thinking about porting to the Switch before you think about porting it to the Xbox One. Especially if it's something that's more Japanese-focused, because the Japanese, they just hate the Xbox. They just do.
Yeah, definitely.
So at this point, the Switch is a smashing success. So if you should probably be thinking about getting it on the Switch before the Xbox One.
Well, yeah, I think we're going to see that transition throughout 2018. But we're still not there yet because developers are now just realizing that, so the changes are happening, but it doesn't happen overnight. So, but expect throughout 2018, in terms of third-party support, 2018 is going to be better than 2017. So we'll see what happens.
I think we may have to wait till a lot of people have been saying, and a lot of third companies have been saying, we may have to see, wait till 2019 to get these, day and date releases with the PS4 and Xbox One to see, a game to expect, when a game's coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One to expect it to probably be coming out on the Switch.
Which is why I don't think Nintendo's going to slow down even a little bit until 2019. No. I think they're ready to pump out, like we said, we've talked about it, Metroid, Pikmin, Animal Crossing, Smash Brothers, Fire Emblem, Yoshi, Kirby, whatever Retro's working on, F-Zero please, Pokemon, there is a lot they can bring out, and it could all, So, I think Virtual Console's got to be announced at some point, considering what we heard about what's coming into China. I think that could be... Those versions that are coming to China are probably based off what we may be getting for a lot of Wii games. So, yeah, I think we could be getting a Virtual Console announcement at the Direct, if that's possible. Actually, when I think about it, Nintendo's probably going to really detail their online infrastructure and also talk about Virtual Console. Maybe announce Netflix and a few other streaming apps during the Direct, because it's going to be 2018. Their online package is coming out soon. That could be something. Also, Benjamin, we heard that rumor too that Bandai is working on Prime 4. I don't know, because there's another rumor about Soul Calibur coming to Switch and PS4 only, but it has not been announced for Switch, but it has been announced for Xbox. So I don't know. I think those rumors came together, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I believe they did.
So they came together, right? So that first part of the rumor has already been proven to not be true. That doesn't mean it won't come for Switch. It just means that, the whole idea of it not coming to Xbox is wrong. So I'm not sure if that Bandai part is true either. Especially when I think about
it's hard to say, because it could be, obviously rumors change. Rumors can change. Plans can change. And, I mean, they did get the fact that Soul Calibur VI is going to be out soon, right? That's not something you can just out of the blue predict. That's not some easy prediction.
That is true. Soul Calibur VI is still coming, which is interesting then. So let's consider that, actually. Let's consider that this rumor is true. If it's true, what does that mean? Why is the information we have now is wrong? That means that whatever information at the time, it changed. So then, because things change when games are developing, there are plans that change, they change around their strategies. So maybe the Switch version was already planned, right? And they added the Xbox version afterwards, right? But they didn't announce the Switch version because they are holding back an announcement for, say, the Direct with Link or Fire Emblem characters. And also, Sony really wanted to highlight Soul Calibur at the PSX event, which they did. And I think that part may have also been included in the rumor, if I'm not mistaken. I think they may have mentioned
that was part of the rumor.
That Sony wanted to have a focus. So then, actually, yeah. In fact, I think part of the rumor, they also said that the Switch version may not be announced immediately. Am I remembering that wrong?
I think they did say something about that, actually.
I think I should look this up, because I don't want to say this without actually looking it up. So let's look up this rumor. Okay, so rumor... Bandai Namco, Metroid Prime 4, PSX. I'm putting like every keyword, right? Soul Calibur.
And I'd like to make a point while you're looking that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some people have been saying Bandai Namco's come out saying that they're not going to talk about a Switch version, so there's probably not a Switch version coming. That's literally, you cannot believe anything that these companies say. I mean, come on, did you remember when Dragon Quest XI was announced for Switch when it wasn't announced for Switch? Do you remember that? Come on. When Skyrim, they couldn't say whether it was the special edition or not, or if it was even coming to the Switch at all.
Right.
After they'd already shown it off at the Switch.
Even though they showed footage, yeah.
Yeah. You can't believe what these people are saying. It's all PR talk, man. That's just how these companies roll. If they're not going to announce something, they're not going to tell you in an interview. So they're not going to not announce it, and then all of a sudden, a couple days later, in an interview, be like, "Oh yeah, totally." No. They're going to lie to your face and announce it later. That's how they roll.
Right. I mean, that's what you have to do. You can't say, "Oh, we can't," we can't really when something's still under wraps, you can't talk about it. Okay, so I'm trying to find this rumor here. It's talking more about Bandai Namco working on Metroid Prime 4 and getting a lot of help from Nintendo. But this apparently was also part of the rumor about the Soul Calibur thing, but I can't find the specific details right now. But it does sound like it's linking up to what we're talking about, though. So then, maybe what we're talking about is true then, that they had plans for it, maybe will be announced at the Direct. And this rumor also talks about a Prime 4 trailer being shown off at the Direct. Which, if it's shown off at the Direct, I said this earlier in the discussion, though. I think there's a 50% chance we'll see a full-blown gameplay trailer. And if we do, there is literally, it is coming this year. It is coming this year. We are going to see Metroid Prime 4 come out this year if we see a gameplay trailer for it. If we see a teaser trailer, maybe you could make the argument otherwise. I would be a little nervous about my prediction. But if we see Metroid Prime 4, I'm pretty confident it's coming out this year. And this rumor says it will be. So,
if we see it, do you think they'll say it's coming out this year, 2018? Will they say it's coming out 2018 in the trailer? I think that could be a possibility, that they actually straight up say 2018.
Look at my face. I don't know. I don't know.
Because I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't see why they would announce the fact that it's coming out 2018.
I like the idea of Nintendo being douchey and not saying anything about the date and keeping people on their toes, and Sony being like, "Oh crap, they come out with Metroid. There's no way we're gonna win this year."
Dude, honestly, even if they said it was coming out 2018, people would pull a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and be like, "No, it's not." Well, they would.
That's the thing. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they said it was coming out 2017, and I have had so many arguments with people throughout the entire year. People literally saying, "I will pay you money if it comes out in 2017." I never followed up with any of them on that because, there's no point. Well, I mean, money matters, but I just didn't want to be a part of those communities. So, regardless, Xenoblade 2 came out. So I think with that, the whole belief, right, if we look at what Nintendo's doing, when they announce a game, it comes out basically within a year, that we should believe that because it's happening, right? You cannot use Breath of the Wild as an example because Breath of the Wild started development before the big transition where Nintendo unified their gaming divisions, when Iwata made all the changes, when he set up his legacy that eventually led to this giant campaign of the Nintendo Switch. So
plus Breath of the Wild was one of the big reasons that they have started the new trend, because they had to delay that game so many times.
Right.
I think it was, I forget if it was Aonuma or Reggie or somebody said that was one of the big mistakes that they had with that game, that they didn't want to do that again. They didn't want to announce games, 3-4 years before they come out, and have to have people wait or keep delaying it or something like that. They wanted to announce it when they know that the game can come out when they say.
Yeah. So then, I think yeah, you know what? This is my prediction, right? I'm gonna give my full list of predictions right now, and Brandon, you can follow suit after. Okay. Metroid Prime 4 at the Nintendo Direct towards the end. Full gameplay trailer coming out 2018. We're gonna get a full gameplay trailer for Fire Emblem coming out 2018. We will not see Pokemon at the Nintendo Direct, but it will come out. I don't actually, I'm not sure about that one. Pokemon is going to be announced this year. We're going to see Pokemon sometime this year, maybe, but we're not going to see it at the Direct. I think we're going to get a full, they're going to go over and talk about the online setup for Nintendo Switch. We're probably going to hear about Virtual Console finally. I think we're going to see Mario and Kirby, not Mario, Kirby and Yoshi, those are going to be titled. We're going to see a trailer from Wolfenstein 2. And if this rumor is true about the whole Bandai Namco thing and Metroid, then I also think we're going to get an announcement for Dragon Ball FighterZ and Soul Calibur VI from Bandai Namco. I mentioned the Wolfenstein 2 trailer. That's going to happen. This is all about the Direct, right? Not the entire year. I don't know what's we're going to see a Smash trailer and not Pikmin. But we'll still Animal Crossing trailer. Brandon, you changed my mind. So we're going to see an Animal Crossing trailer as well. Yeah, that seems like a lot, but you know what? When we look at what we got for Zelda, Mario, Xenoblade, Mario Kart, ARMS, Splatoon, it makes sense. It kind of fits the bill, right? If they have a similar strategy, like that lineup I just mentioned, is comparable to the lineup we got last year. So, yeah, those are my predictions. Nutshell.
Okay. I agree with a lot of that. Personally, I guess I'll just rattle off my predictions here. First, I think not first in the trailer, but first off, what I think is that we're going to get, the release dates and the names for Kirby and Yoshi. I think both of those games are going to be coming out early in the year, very early in the year. Yeah. They're going to be coming out early spring, or early to late spring, sometime in the spring. Probably Kirby's coming out first, and then Yoshi after, because we know more about Kirby than we do Yoshi. Makes sense. I think Pikmin 4 will be shown. I think that game will be coming out in late spring or early summer. I think honestly, no, I don't think we'll see Smash. No, there. My prediction right now, I don't think we'll see Smash.
But we will see Pikmin.
Yeah, I think we will see Pikmin. I don't think we'll see Smash. I think we'll see Animal Crossing as well. I think that'll be coming out late summer, I'd guess. Late summer, early fall. That's when I'm thinking that game is going to come out. I think we're going to see Wolfenstein. That's going to probably come out, I'd say, February, March, somewhere around there. Somewhere in between there. That's what I think that'll probably be coming out. We'll see Fire Emblem. I think it's going to be a big focus. Yeah. I think they'll be coming out probably in the fall, towards closer to holiday, I think.
You think Fire Emblem's going to be fall? I think it's going to be an earlier 2018.
Well, yeah. I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes did come out pretty early. So did Fire Emblem Fates, I think.
Yeah.
When did Fire Emblem Fates come out? I think they've all been coming out this summer. So, yeah, actually, you're right. I think they'll probably be closer to a summer title. So...
But I think it is the potential talking about Dark Souls for Switch fall release. We'd love that. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Yeah.
What was it?
You said Dark Souls.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think Dark Souls has potential, but I'm not gonna predict that. I'm not gonna predict that we're gonna see Dark Souls because I don't know that for sure. What else do we have here? I already mentioned Pikmin. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm missing anything or not.
You said Kirby, Yoshi, you said Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I said Fire Emblem. I said that we were going to see Animal Crossing. And
are we going to see Metroid?
Metroid, I think so. I think we'll see Metroid.
What about Pokemon?
I think we'll see a teaser. Teaser for Pokemon. Not a gameplay, no gameplay, just a teaser.
Yeah. I'm not even sure, like I said, I think Pokemon, there's a good chance, really good chance Pokemon's coming out this year, but I don't think it's going to be shown off at Direct.
Really?
They may talk about it. There could be a teaser, like you said. Like it could be
they could
teaser,
announce
but not like a gameplay trailer.
They could announce a Pokemon Direct. They tend to be announcing Directs inside Directs.
Oh yeah, like maybe they'll be like, and tune in next week for a Pokemon Direct, like that.
Yeah, they did that for Fire Emblem during the last one. Yeah. They did that for ARMS and Splatoon 2 during several different Directs. They did that for. Did they announce a Xenoblade Direct during? No, they didn't. Okay, but they announced like 3 different specific game directs during general directs, so that seems to be a trend here. So I think they'll probably announce the Pokemon Direct inside that Direct.
Also, yeah, Benjamin, when the Nintendo Direct happens, I will stream it and I'll put some reactions up for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be doing the same.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If Metroid Prime 4 is showing, I'll scream. If Pokemon is showing off, I'll scream and cry. If it looks good. If it looks
yeah,
good. If it's
lame,
like 3DS Pokemon
like,
with high resolution, I will be like, oh, great. Yeah, this is my future. But you know, I'll play it and love it regardless. But it's just kind of one of those things where like, I hope it's bigger than that. At the same time, that's another whole reason why I'm a little antsy about Pokemon this year, because they may be making a much bigger deal, and this could be the year they take a break, because Pokemon's been coming out every year for a while now. Occasionally they miss a year. This might be the year they miss, but given that they announced it at E3, they had no reason. They did not need to announce Pokemon at E3. They did not need to. They really did. If you think about that for a second. Metroid may have needed a reason because of Samus Returns, but people were going to buy Ultra Sun and Moon regardless, you know? So, I don't think... When I think about that, maybe Pokemon really is coming out next year, you know?
Yeah. I think there is an argument that, you know, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, a lot of people thought that was going to the Switch. So I guess you could make that argument. That people were...
Nintendo never said anything, though. Nintendo said nothing, right?
But there was a lot of fan backlash after they did not announce it. A lot of people thinking, you know, like, Pokemon's going to stay on the 3DS.
Oh, there is the Pokken thing. They just showed off Pokken.
Yeah.
So maybe they didn't want people to be so pissed about that.
Yeah, I think there's definitely the argument that they wanted to show that they're moving on from the 3DS. You know, Pokemon's moving on from the 3DS. They're not just going to stay on the 3DS for, you know, several more years or something.
Maybe. I don't know. But we also got the New York Times report that there's 40 million Switches coming out next year.
Yeah.
For next fiscal year. And if that is true, there is I cannot think of any other game that would push that besides Pokemon. There is no other game. Yeah. There's nothing. I really don't think there is anything that can push that. Mario Odyssey can't do it. Breath of the Wild can't do it. The only thing that could do it is the first home console Pokemon game ever. So, yeah. So, I don't know. There's some pros and cons on both sides. There's a whole rumor that they want to really push the boundaries for Pokemon like they did with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey.
There's also the whole rumor that they want to get it out 2018.
Right. So. Exactly. Actually, based off the report that they are trying to get it 2018. That's the official status of Pokemon right now. They're trying to do it. They're not making any promises though, but they are trying to get out 2018. That's the official status, from what I know. So they are trying, but that could change. Things change. Development changes all the time. So, yeah. Is there anything else we're missing? We didn't mention Bayonetta 3. We talked about it earlier, but we didn't. In our final predictions, we didn't say. We're definitely going to see Bayonetta 1 and 2 at the Direct. Bayonetta 3 may get a teaser for it or an interview, but I don't think it's coming out this year.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's going to be 2019.
And I tried to make this argument earlier, right? But technically, Bayonetta 3 is not a Nintendo game, even though it's probably only going to be coming to Nintendo systems. But it's not being developed.
They already said it's exclusive, so yeah.
Right, it's exclusive. But what I mean is that because it's not an in-house team, right? That whole argument about it not being, being announced within a year and coming out within a year, that doesn't apply to Bayonetta 3 because it's being developed by Platinum Games and it's being co-published with Sega. So I don't think that Nintendo's going to hold them to that same standard, the same applies with Pokemon, by the way. Because even though Pokemon is only ever going to be on a Nintendo system, and Nintendo does hold a majority stake in it, it is developed independently of Nintendo. Game Freak develops it. They're not actually owned by Nintendo. So, they're not also going to be held to that standard of coming out within a year of its announcement or so. But given all the information we talked about prior, it still may come out in 2018.
Yeah, technically they're not, but it could be that Nintendo is really pushing for them to try to keep to that standard.
Yeah, right.
There's definitely that possibility.
They do communicate with each other, and they do things. It's not like they're completely separate. I'm just saying that you know, if I had to put my money... Actually, I mean, Metroid Prime 4, the idea of Metroid Prime 4 is so extraordinary that it's hard for me to even, you know, argue. It's hard to say. But
it's so hard. I can't say definitively whether or not any of these games will come in 2019, but I do think the most likely one to come in 2018 would be Pokemon, in my opinion. It'd be Pokemon.
Right.
So.
Also, Benjamin S. is asking, do you think Pokemon Switch will be Gen 8, or will they return to another gen? There was a small rumor about the Pokemon Switch could take place in Generation 1. It's hard for me to say, to be honest. I don't think they need to go to a whole new region. I've talked about this before, I would like them to focus on going back to it's still being new, it's still incorporating all the Pokemon that have been in all the other games, right? But if you go back to Kanto, the original region, or maybe Johto, the second region, or have them combined as one big map, right? One big map between those two regions with a few different islands off to the sides. That would be a big world to explore, and maybe most of the Pokemon you see throughout your adventure are Generation 1 and 2 Pokemon, but as you get further into your adventure, more and more Pokemon from other generations are incorporated. I think that would be smart because they are going back to, it's the first time on a home console. You're going to get a lot of fans that have not been playing the handheld ones for a while, and they're going to see, the early Generation 1 and 2 Pokemon are going to really appeal to the nostalgia.
All those Gen 1ers.
Right. So I think that may be, it would be a good idea in my opinion, right? So I think that could happen. Also, because those regions are already sort of laid out, I think that does kind of expedite the development process a little bit, just a little bit, because it's still not like in 3D or anything, but they at least have like a blueprint, you know what I mean? So I think that would be it. And also in terms of Pokemon models, it would expedite that process as well. If you don't have to create a new generation, right? You don't have to create 100 new Pokemon. So there's that to consider. But at the same time, if it's coming on Switch, they do have to update every model, though. Although I do know that for Ultra Sun and Moon, and they did have every model in HD, but they have to downscale it to the 3DS. So they may have those versions. But I would want them to add some texture, like a little bit something. We'll see. It depends on the style. We'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I think they could be something based in Generation 1 Kanto, kind of.
Honestly, Pokemon, they always take a while to push the graphics of whatever system they're on. I'm not saying that I think Pokemon for Switch is going to look bad, or it's going to look, just like an HD version of a 3DS game. But I definitely don't think that they will go all out and use, all the power of the Nintendo Switch. I think they could eventually, after making maybe when their second Pokemon for the Switch, they could do that. But I think maybe they'll go for a more simple route. Maybe they'll go for an art style that's easy to develop quickly but still looks good.
What if they use the Breath of the Wild engine?
That would be really cool.
That'd be amazing. What's interesting, right, is that there's a few interesting things. One, when I was playing through Breath of the Wild, multiple times I thought, wow, if there's a Pokemon game kind of made with this style, it would be really cool. I don't know if I feel like I'm not the only person that thought that. I don't think I am. I think there's a lot of people that thought that too. So there's that, but there's also Breath of the Wild. I know, they do make comparisons with the map of Breath of the Wild to different parts of Japan, and Kanto and Johto, the original two regions for Pokemon, are also fashioned as off parts of Japan. So I'm just saying that that's not really a big reason, but there may be, they could sort of use the Breath of the Wild engine and imagine it. And here's the thing: Breath of the Wild engine does not mean that it'll look like Breath of the Wild, right? But it'll look different. An engine is like the underlying structure of how it's all put together in terms of coding and such. It's not the style. It's different. But you may still see similarities with some of the physics, right? Maybe you'll see some grass. It's similar. Breath of the Wild grass would work really well.
Oh my gosh!
It would work really well with Pokemon grass.
That grass is the best grass of any video game ever. Oh my gosh!
Exactly. The Breath of the Wild grass is the greatest grass of all time. But Pokemon has tons of grass. It's known for grass. So imagine the grass physics and such in Pokemon, what they could do with that. You know, being able to hide in the grass, chop the grass, and Pokemon in the grass.
Seeing the grass move more dynamically when a Pokemon is around. Because the grass physics in Breath of the Wild are, like, really, really good. Like, they're very realistic. It can flow in the wind, different things like that. It moves when your character walks around it dynamically. So, I mean, because a lot of Pokemon, you know, you go into the grass to fight the Pokemon, and sometimes you can see the grass move when the Pokemon is there. Well, you can do that way more dynamically in a world with grass that uses the Breath of the Wild engine.
Right, and if you think about this, actually, what kind of goes with what we were talking about earlier about that whole rumor of, there's this rumor that Pokemon teams saw the success of Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, and they sort of changed around their development because of that. What if that is sort of tying into what we're talking about, and Pokemon team is using the Breath of the Wild engine? What if they're using that to help expedite the development process, create this big, beautiful world of Pokemon? You know, that would be really cool. And if you use the Breath of the Wild engine, that literally shaves off like 2 years of development time.
Oh yeah.
You know?
For sure.
So if they do that, fashion it off Kanto and Johto, don't introduce new Pokemon. All of those different things
Why would
are
they
going to be are all things that people will love, and they will speed up the development process a lot. Yeah. So I think we'll have a winner of an idea here. Is that what they're doing? I have no idea. You know,
who knows?
We never really know. There are some rumors that support that. It is logical to think that, but you never really know.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, why even create? You don't have to create new Pokemon. You know how many Pokemon are in Pokemon? What is it, like over 700 Pokemon now? Like, it's insane. Why even create new Pokemon?
Because they always create new Pokemon.
Like, most people haven't even seen all of the Pokemon there is. Let's be honest here. Most people don't even know what every Pokemon looks like. You could pull up a Pokemon from like Gen 3 and they think it's a brand new Pokemon. Let's be honest here. They would.
I think if they took the time away from creating new Pokemon to focus on creating a awesome Pokemon world, that would, you know, it would serve it well. You know, and also, you know, they can introduce stadium-like battles. I mean, that's kind of what Sun and Moon already does, but take it to a slightly different level. And given that it's on a home console now, right, you want to introduce a local multiplayer aspect to it, I believe. So there's that to consider. And the local multiplayer aspect, I think, would be pretty simple. Just introduce rentals. You know, maybe something the rentals could change, like through online, you know, and DLC. Just have different rentals and have a stadium mode, you know. They don't have to have minigames. I would love there to be minigames, but they don't have to have minigames. I'm asking for 2 games in 1, so that wouldn't be fair. But it would be cool. Benjamin wants them to create new Pokemon. I think Kimishima agrees with us. He's like, "Ee," right? So, I would be okay if they didn't create new Pokemon if it meant that they have all these Pokemon in a Breath of the Wild like engine, open, sort of big 3D beautiful Pokemon game with stadium-like features, you know, and just it's this huge beautiful world to explore that it's a huge 3D Kanto and Johto with giant mountains and sprawling grass and hills, like, and then you can actually go out to the sea, right? Like, that would be, bro, come on, imagine how epic that would be.
It'd be insane.
Right?
It'd be insane.
It would destroy. It would sell 100 million copies. You know, like, it would be incredible. It'd be incredible.
Dude, it would switch 40 million units, not enough.
Yeah. But of course, if they did that, then the next Pokemon game, they could fashion it off the one that comes out for Switch, and that could be a new generation, new region with new Pokemon, you know? So, I mean, and if it doesn't happen this game, it's going to happen the next one that comes out 2 years from now. So, yeah, you know? I mean, Sun and Moon just came out, though. That's the other thing. Sun and Moon came out last year. That's a new generation already, you know? So if a new Pokemon game is shown off this year and comes out this year, you're only giving the generation 2 years? I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Probably not.
Doesn't make sense to me. So either A, Pokemon doesn't come out this year, comes out next year, and it's a new generation, or B, Pokemon comes out this year and it's not a new generation. So
personally, I don't think they need a new generation yet.
Right, you don't, but you're not a big time Pokemon fan.
No, I'm not.
But I agree with you, and I am a big Pokemon fan.
I think with how much you can do things, with how much you can do things differently on the Switch. At this point, even if you remade an older game, or did something like you're saying, going back and visiting an older region, like it would feel like a brand new game.
Yeah.
So essentially, it'd be a new generation. You're just not you're just exploring somewhere else, but it would feel new. Like, it wouldn't feel like the same place. I mean, if you remake a 2D environment in a 3D space, it does not feel like... I mean, sure, you can look around and see the similarities, and you'd be like, oh, cool, you know, this is the same area. But it does not feel like you know, exactly the same or anything like that. It feels completely different, exploring something that was once 2D in a 3D space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I'm in agreement with you. I think there is so much they could do with what we just talked about. I think that would be awesome. It'd be really awesome. So, yeah. Wait, Benjamin actually said, apparently Pokemon Switch has been in development since the announcement of Sun and Moon, though. I don't know if that's true.
Not for Sun and Moon.
No.
I do know that the main part of the Pokemon team was not working on Ultra Sun and Moon. I know that they left that to the younger developers to get practice, so it very well could have been after Pokemon Sun and Moon ended. And after, you know, right after the original version of Sun and Moon ended, they started working on the Switch version. Or towards the end, when all they're doing is optimization, it's very possible that, you know, the younger development did optimization, which can last several months. So it could have been a couple months before Pokemon Sun and Moon came out that they started development for, you know, Pokemon Switch.
Well, Sun and Moon did come out last year, right? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so...
So they could have already been working this game for a year and a half.
Yeah, and if it comes out... I mean...
Late next year, that's about 2.5 years. 2.5 to 3 years of work. That's enough for a game.
Considering they come out with Pokemon like every year, you know, you have to think, they have to be using an engine that's already established, though. If they're creating a whole new engine,
that would take too long.
Pokemon's not going to come out this year if they're creating a whole new engine. But if they're doing what we're talking about, using the Breath of the Wild engine, or just really beefing up the Sun and Moon engine,
or they could use Unreal Engine 4. They could definitely use Unreal Engine 4 for that.
Yeah. I just thought about it for a second. For a second, I thought you were talking about Ultra Sun and Moon. But yeah, Sun and Moon. Yeah, maybe. I think maybe around that time they may have to start development. It makes sense. But like Brandon was talking about, they have two different teams that are working on, and they had the younger amateurish team working on, not amateurish, but younger, less experienced team working on Ultra Sun and Moon. They already have another team working on the other Pokemon game. So we'll see. We'll see. I think Pokemon's coming. I think we're gonna see something about Pokemon next year, but you never really know. This could be the year they take a break, and if there's a year to take a break, it would be this year. As much as I hate to say that, because they are transitioning to a new system, right? But maybe they won't be taking a break. Maybe they don't want to take a break. So we'll see.
Yeah, it could very well be that they take a break in 2019.
Yeah.
If they're really wanting, because I mean,
when I say take a break, it's not like they actually take a break. They need to develop stuff,
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, at this point, I mean, you do not need the big heads of the bigger team, the older, more experienced team, to be working towards the last about 6 months or so of Sun and Moon, because most of that is pretty much just optimization. It's just finishing out things, make sure the game works, stuff like that. Most of it's already complete at that point. So I could definitely see
so
that
Sun and
Switch
Moon
version
may have been, and also when you think about Sun and Moon, it's not that much of a transition from X and Y.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it could definitely be that the Switch version already had 1.5 years or even 2 years of development. You give that another year till the next holiday. That'd be about 3 years of development. If they use Unreal Engine 4 or the Breath of the Wild engine, that's plenty of time to make a new game. Like that's definitely enough time.
Right. So final predictions: are we seeing Pokemon at the Direct?
Yes, but not a game, just a teaser and probably an announcement to a Pokemon Direct.
I kind of like what you're saying. I think it's something along those lines as well. Yeah. So we are not getting a full gameplay trailer of Pokemon.
No, I do not think so.
That is not happening but we may get a teaser of some sort. That is it at the direct.
Yeah.
But I am siding with the game. I am siding with the possibility of a Metroid Prime 4 trailer. We're definitely seeing Fire Emblem. We're going to see Wolfenstein 2 trailer. We may see an announcement for Soul Calibur 6 with Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Dark Souls could be announced later this year, along with Fallout. Kirby and Yoshi definitely will be at the direct. Bayonetta 1 and 2 will be showcased. We may get another teaser for Bayonetta 3. Smash 4, I think, will be announced at the direct.
Okay.
And maybe
I think
that's a lot of games.
I think the only thing
it's a lot of games.
I think the only thing we disagree on is Smash, and I think you think Pikmin might be there. I think Pikmin will definitely be there.
Yeah,
and
I'm not confident about Pikmin being there. And Animal Crossing, I think, could be held off until E3. You think it? But actually, no. I changed my mind because when you made that argument about the mobile game being out, I'm siding with you with that actually.
Yeah.
So
we're mostly in agreement actually. So
yeah.
We've logicked it all out, convinced each other of everything.
Right. So yeah, we've made each other agree with like everything. So our opinions are like the same, basically.
Yeah.
Actually, Benjamin S. Do we think Pokemon Stars is still coming? So actually, there was actually a report that came from Eurogamer, who made the report about Pokemon Stars initially. They wanted to explain what they think would happen. So basically, it's actually what I had said would happen. So Pokemon Stars was a rumor based off what was going on with the Pokemon team, where they were thinking about making something for Switch, and they were developing it, and alongside this 3DS version. But they just decided to focus on this 3DS version, and then move on to the Switch version. So Pokemon Stars initially was the plans of working on them on the Switch version, and maybe it sort of panned out to two different projects. Yeah. Pokemon Stars became Ultra Sun and Moon, and it also became whatever Switch is going to become, right? So Pokemon Stars was whatever Pokemon team was working on, and it diverged into two different Pokemon games.
Yeah, Pokemon Stars is not it's not going to be an actual thing.
No, so it's not actually coming, but it technically has already sort of halfway come with Ultra Sun and Moon, and
whatever work they had already done, they use it to help them with the next one, or they use it as the groundwork.
Yeah. So Mudkips is saying, I want my Metroid Prime. Yes, I said 5 full-length gameplay trailer. They're making the jump, Metroid Prime 5.
Skipping 4.
Someday. But I definitely think we're going to see Metroid Prime. Well, not definitely. That's my prediction. That's what I'm putting my money on, Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I don't think I can give a prediction on whether or not it's going to be a full gameplay trailer or just a teaser, but I will predict that it is definitely going to be shown in some capacity.
Right. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. You know, we're getting close to 2 hours. So, you know, thanks for watching, everyone. Is there any final questions that you guys may have that we should talk about? Or I think that's it. Is there, Brian, anything else you want to say before we call it a night? Oh, wait, I just realized this is the final live discussion of the year. I think it's pretty interesting that we've been able to do a consistent Monday discussion for a few months already. And this first started off as me doing NSP, Nintendo Super Podcast, and there was different people there. Sean, he came by earlier. Actually, Coloco, Nintendo Andy, he tweeted about this. I don't know if he's watching right now, but, you know, there was, we started off as NSP, right? And it's been an interesting year. It's been an interesting year. The channel's growing, Brandon's channel's growing, you know, so if you guys are watching this and you haven't checked out Brandon's channel, obviously subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, right? But also, check out Brandon's channel. He does a lot of Nintendo news, does a lot of Nintendo live streams. He does great stuff as well.
And I will be making a lot more content when I get back home. Should be tomorrow, so expect more content Wednesday.
Yeah. I have a lot of things planned. I have more Xenoblade tutorials planned this week. I might do a tutorial on the Mario Odyssey final level of that. There's some Zelda news that are coming out. Working on the timeline video. There's so much planned. So, I'm not taking a break with videos, just the discussions on Mondays, because the next 2 Mondays are holidays. Next Monday is a Christmas Day, and next Monday is a New Year's Eve. But hopefully the Direct happens the first week of January, and we will have a full live discussion about everything at the Direct. So there's that. Yep. Also, what's up, Zekdron? Yeah, we did talk about Pikmin 4. We talked about how that game has been near the end of development since 2015. Google it. Shigeru Miyamoto interviews about Pikmin 4 being near development. Those interviews are from 2015, midway through. So we're about to hit 2018. There's no way Pikmin 4 isn't going to be ready to some capacity this year unless they can the project, which is possible, but I doubt it. So Pikmin 4 has a good chance of being at the Direct. I'm not 100% sure on Pikmin 4 being at the Direct, but I do think we're going to see Pikmin 4 at some point in 2018. So yeah. And it's not going to have any annoying controls. It's going to be great, Switch controls. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be best.
And also, a good point to note is that Pikmin 3 was kind of like an enhanced Wii version, and so Pikmin 4 is going to be fully, it's going to look amazing on the Switch.
It could, Pikmin 3 already looked pretty stunning.
It looked great, but I felt like it kind of, I still felt like it was originally a Wii project.
Resolution.
It was originally a Wii project that they put a lot of work into. I think Pikmin 4 was probably, did start off as a Wii U project, but there's been so much time since then that it's
that could be why we haven't seen it yet, because in 2015 it was going to be a Wii U project, and now they're working on enhancing it for the Switch.
Right, but also the difference between Wii U and
graphics
Switch
and
is
like
not so significant like Wii. Wii was, it's an SD system.
So, yeah. It was a way bigger jump.
What about Mudkips is saying no Metroid Prime 4 like no iPhone 9? It's an interesting argument, but regardless, we're seeing some kind of Metroid Prime 4 at the Direct, I'm pretty sure. I believe. That's my biggest prediction. So, yeah, guys, I think it's been a pretty good discussion. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Check out Whataboutnintendo. Check out myself if you haven't already. And we will see you really soon. Watch our videos, obviously, and the next live discussion will be in January. All right. I bid you all a fantastic night, or wherever you're watching this. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye.